The Honorable Carlos James, Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture. The Honorable René Batiste, Speaker of the OECS Assembly. We have Cultural Ambassador, His Excellency Alston Beckett Cyrus, Doctor of Letters. Mommy Small, I have to recognize Mommy Small. Permanent Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mrs. Angie Williams-Jackson. Mr. Daniel Campbell, Director of Caribbean Engineering and Design Consultants Limited. Senior public servants, distinguished sponsors, representatives of the media, and guests. Good evening and welcome to the launch of Steel Expressions, The Kingdom. I have always wanted to be a bit more involved in Steel Expressions beyond that person showing up on everybody's feed, looking half drunk, dancing from beginning to end. And so I thank Rodney for the honor of asking me and allowing me to host this evening's press conference, this press briefing, this launch. Steel Expressions is indeed the concert event of the year, bar none. It doesn't matter what concert you go to. When you talk about Steel Expressions, you're talking about a concert that is professionally produced, that features music from beginning to end, and that involves the entire family. And that is what a concert should be like. Steel Expressions, as you would hear from Rodney and others, has been going on now, and this is the 11th edition. And many individuals who have partaken in this concert have left at the end of the night satisfied, not just that they've spent their money's worth, but that they were truly entertained in a very clean and wonderful environment. When my friend who I met as a student ushering in the Caribbean Association of Principals of Secondary School meeting, and she was then the principal of the Bishop College, Kingstown, when someone who I look up to and myself and my 18-year-old daughter can all party in the same function, that tells you a lot about the function. It is indeed something that we can all be proud of. And I want to congratulate Rodney as he ventures forward with this event, and I want to wish him all the best. This evening you're going to hear some presentations. We won't be too long. You're going to hear some presentations about this event, and you'll hear from the sponsors, and as well, you'd hear some endorsements. So we'd get right into the program, and immediately we would invite the man behind this event, the founder, the executive producer, how do I say it? It's his brainchild, the steel pan boss, the king of pan. Let me welcome Rodney Small.
Thank you, Sian. Please allow me to adopt the protocol having been established and say a pleasant good night to everyone. Good night. I always feel different being in this capacity because most time I'm entertaining for functions like these. But nevertheless, here goes. Today I am filled with so many emotions and excitement as we are launching yet another spectacular Steel Expressions production. IRIS Production is still celebrating 10 years of Steel Expressions. Although COVID-19 didn't allow us to have a grand celebration for our 10th anniversary, we are still grateful and give all thanks and praise to God Almighty and to all those persons who have made this production a success over the 10 years. 10 years is not and wasn't a walk in the park. We continue to grow from strength to strength, learning different things as we go along. When I look back at where we started and where we are now, it pulls on every one of my heartstrings. I am forever grateful for the first set of committee members who initially believed in the brand Steel Expressions. Mr. Jemran Delplesh, Ms. Onika Morgan, Mr. Ijaz Batiste, Ms. Sandra Davis, and Ms. Renee Batiste. All our day one sponsors who are still sponsors today, we say thank you. To our new sponsors, thank you also, and this journey is one that you would never regret. I would not dig too much into that journey, but allow me to fast forward to 2022, the kingdom. Matthew 6:33 Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. This scripture verse is one of the inspiration behind Steel Expressions, the kingdom, theme and concept. The diversity of our culture, our heritage, and the mix of our people, our expressions and values have made us unique and qualify us to be counted among the world's civilizations. As an authentic Caribbean civilization, we may not be able to lay claim to as many centuries of existence as the Japanese civilization, but we can certainly proclaim that SVG to be a relatively young, authentic civilization with a history and its own identity. Allow me to quote from our Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Gonzalez, using some musical metaphors and languages. We are the songs of the Kalinagos, Arawaks, and the Amerindians. We are the rhythms of Africa. We are the chords of Asia. We are the melody of Europe and the homegrown lyrics of the Caribbean. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, home, land of the blessed, paradise, best place on earth, a place where you vacation, are some of the things used to describe SVG. But for me, it's a bit personal. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is my kingdom, a country that is indeed blessed, and our history would show how much we are a God-fearing nation. This place we call Vincy has produced some great kings and queens in their own right. Miss Fordy from Paul's Avenue, Mr. Mike Finley, Yank Bakery, Tanny Peters, David Darky Williams, Mr. Forgus the Snowcone Man, Cameraman Inford, Taya Ital Shop, Frankie McIntosh, Spirit, Hurage, Traffic Police Gold Teeth, Roy and Owen Ralph. From over the river, Aldea, Derek Cordes, Dennis Joyet from Joyous Garage, Sada from the Kalinago tribe, Dr. Alston Beckett Cyrus, Kevin Little, Miss Jean Johnny Finley with Mijay Modeling Agency, and all our recent kings and queens. The kingdom concept is extremely personal to me, and I would not be able to share all of it with you today, as I would love to save some of the excitement for the show. One of the things I would love to highlight is my experience as a volunteer during the volcanic eruption in April 2022. This experience was a first time for me, but priceless, and for every event during that period, I documented something each day that helped to craft the concept, the kingdom. Intentions are strong, helpful, creative, successful, skillful, brave, courageous, hard to go with, resilient, and determined. But ultimately, we have big hearts, hearts that allow us to show up in a time of need and comfort. The production. Every kingdom has its kings, queens, and royal linkage. The kingdom, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is no exception, and it is the aim of the production team of Steel Expressions 2022 to shine the spotlight on the known and unknown royalties of this kingdom, and also to encourage the patrons to recognize themselves as royalties. It is within the castle of the Annisvale playing field that this 3-hour production will be brought to life. Steel Expressions The Kingdom was scheduled to be our 10th production by RS Productions under the Steel Expressions umbrella. However, we contemplated how best we could navigate the pandemic protocols, the economic state of our country, and still produce a quality show, and agreed it will be better to shift it to the 11th production in 2022. I am going to make a very bold promise as the executive producer and artistic director that our patrons will receive yet another phenomenal production that is synonymous with the brand Steel Expression. I am going to add that this is a year where I am going deep within and emptying it all out, as our people are deserving of it all. While it is not a Christmas production, it is an event that is for the entire family who can enjoy during the Christmas season, and many people mark it as their Christmas event. Steel Expressions The Kingdom will also provide our investing sponsors the opportunity to align their brand with a quality product and benefit from the direct marketing to a captive audience. Those open from 7 p.m. and showtime is 8 p.m. Admission, adults $70, children $20, and VIPs $200. Over the last 10 years, We have utilized the services of over 1,200 persons in the various areas of production and 5 venues to bring productions to life. This year, approximately 200 persons will team up to bring this quality production to fruition. Our 2022 cast would be led by myself and the Steel Expressions Band, who will be joined by some of the kings and queens of the Vincentians entertainment industry. They include Dr. Alston Beckett Cyrus, Bridget Blucher, Abuza, Papados, Theo Homer, Josh Chillbill Lewis, and from Havana, Cuba, Zalil Lidlo, all the way from Havana, and a lot of surprises, all powered by dynamic sounds. The show aims to provide an avenue to showcase talents of our people, provide patrons with quality entertainment at an affordable cost in an all-engaging audience, raise funds to assist with taking Steel Expressions to our audience in the diaspora and other charitable causes, provide a platform for young and upcoming talents within the creative and cultural industries. Iris Productions prides itself in maintaining its commitment to giving part proceeds of the funds realized from the production to a charitable cause. To date, close to $80,000 has been given back to cash. In cash or kind, our main beneficiaries have been Scotch, the Arts Alive Mentorship Program, which was held for students interested in the creative and cultural industries, the School for Children of Special Needs, the World Pediatric Project, and the Medical Association for Disbursement to Children Affected by Cancer, and the Iris Academy for Development of Young Talent. This year, we aim to channel proceeds to help fund Steel Expressions with Love in New York City in 2023. Should clap for that. I would like to repeat that. This year, we aim to channel proceeds to help fund Steel Expressions with Love in New York City in 2023, and Steel Expression Let's Go to Havana in Cuba in October 2023. Steel Expression, in our opinion, is now a tourism product, not only for locals, but for everyone who visits St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We think now more than ever is the perfect opportunity to take this product on the road, and we all as Vincentians, home and abroad, should embrace and be a part of this movement. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I am coming to you on Friday, December 30th in my purest element, as we reflect on all that we've been through for the past year. It's time to feel good again, in an atmosphere we are all allowed to express ourselves and free up. If you ask me what my feelings are and what will the show be like, I would not be able to answer that question because I'm allowing my emotions to guide me. What I can tell you is that you have to come to the event to celebrate life, where you would be reminded of how great we are as Vincentians, our early settlers, our love for God, the elderly, our young people, our everlasting love for this nation, perseverance, resilience, fortitude, and most importantly, our identity. This year, we will continue to pay close attention to health and safety measures, a major step in our security and parking areas. We wish to say a major thank you to our valued sponsor, Guardsman and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Royal Police Force. Experience is not a cost, it's an investment. Production of this nature is not cheap, and we are grateful for the support that we've been getting over the years from all our sponsors, and I would love to say welcome to all our first-time sponsors. I would like to encourage more business houses to come on board and be a part of this movement. It costs over $190,000 to execute this event, but the harsh reality is we don't normally see half of this in cash sponsor. What we are grateful for is the relationships that we have formed over the years that help to get things done so that we can produce a top-class product that we all can call a Vincentian product. To all our sponsors, I know as CEOs and managers, you are sometimes worried about where your money is going, but I can guarantee you that investing your money into Steel Expression is one that you would never regret. I would like to thank all our sponsors in advance. Special mention to the management and staff here at Gate 3 for hosting this amazing launch. I pray that God continues to bless this establishment. Steve Wallace from STV Online, thank you. I want to take this opportunity to thank and introduce the community members of Steel Expression who work tirelessly to make sure that we satisfy the hearts of our patrons each year and not forgetting putting up with my crazy ideas. The members of this committee are Ms. Jean Johnny Finley, Lyndon Pablo Lewis, Akeisha Henry, Denika Peters, Sinika Patterson, Esworth Ezzy Roberts, and Ricardo Adams. And I would like to pause just for a little minute to make a presentation to Ms. Akeisha Henry. Akeisha Henry, come. Ms. Jean Johnny Finley. Right, these three women have been with me for practically 10 years. Akeisha, you're about 9, 8. So this is just a token of my appreciation. Put your hands together for Auntie Jean. Ms. Denika Peters. And these plaques were donated by Darren Andrews. The band members and performers, boy. The wealth of talent that comes from every one of you is a blessing, and it gives me great honor to be working with all of you. Each musician in the band is from different bands. We saw the importance of highlighting the need for collaboration. I encourage every one of you to keep working on your craft and remember to always keep God in the midst of all that you do. I say thank you. Special mention to Walt Carter, our keyboardist, on his upcoming event, JITEM, in February 2023, and Darren Andrews, Love Notes to Mom, on Mother's Day. To all the media houses, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you deeply for always showing up and giving coverage to Steel Expressions over the past 11 years. I would also like to encourage you to not only publish social and daily issues, but allocate a lot of time to promoting our people and our culture. To all those persons who have been and will be supporting Steel Expressions 2022, we say thank you for your support. Remember to bring out the entire family, and as one person once said, Steel Expression is a feel-good family affair. To my friends and family, I know it's not easy dealing with me during this time, but just know that I appreciate you for being patient with me. As you look to the future, realize that you have the power to change a larger vision for your life and manifest your greatness. Yes, you have the power to be, do, and have whatever you truly desire. I would submit that you are much more powerful than you could ever imagine. I challenge you to create a larger vision for your life and manifest your greatness throughout the upcoming year. How? By pursuing your purpose, creating your opportunities, working to release your potential, being enthusiastic about your life and the possibilities, and accepting total responsibility for the things that happen in your life. In closing, I would like to make a very strong and firm statement and would appreciate the media to listen carefully. Steel Expression is for all. The work at the venue has started. The set designers are 80% ready, the performers are in their final rehearsal mood, and our hospitality team is gearing up to serve you. Steel Expressions 2022, the kingdom is ready to go. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you very much, Rodney. Another round of applause for Rodney Small, please. Isn't it phenomenal that something that started as a university project has already contributed almost $80,000 in donations? I mean, that was something that is worth celebrating and that is worth congratulating. Rodney Small says that Steel Expressions is now a tourism product, and I believe this. And the intentions to go to New York and to Cuba are just other stages of Steel Expressions that I hope I'd be involved in. Right. I'm early, very early. I'm putting my application in really, really early. Yeah, all right. And to support this idea, the Ministry of Culture continues to work with Rodney and his team. And we have present with us the Minister of Culture, the Honorable Carlos James, who would speak more to how the Ministry of Culture and the Ministry of Tourism will continue to work together with Steel Expression, with Rodney Small, with the team, to ensure that Steel Expression grows from strength to strength. And so we can talk of Easterval, Carnival, 9 Mornings, and Steel Expressions. Minister James, please.
Thank you very much, Cian, and good evening to everyone who's here at this media launch. I'm indeed happy to be here to give support to RS Productions, Rodney and his team. 11 years ago, he started something very special. And I say special because it's an idea that came from, I believe, his heart. And using his instrument, the pan, to spread that message of love, that message of unity, and that message that all within the cultural sphere, whether you're a vocalist, a panist, guitarist, those who are in the production and set design, they all had a role to play on one stage, the Steel Expression stage. And 11 years thereon, it's now one of the biggest productions, arguably, in the entire Caribbean. And I say that because now that Steel Expressions is at its pinnacle. And I think last year when we had the Day Into Night event, which I thought was one of the most remarkable productions I've seen across the region. And I think, well, what I thought Rodney could not have outdone his team and the work that he put in last year. This year, I can assure you that the production and the design and the hard work of all of the persons involved, they are going to give you something very special. He spoke to exporting this event, and this conversation, I no doubt, started a long time ago. And I said to Rodney last year, we have to look at how we can lift the production and have these events as flagship events across the country. Whether it's during the Christmas period, in the summer, or early in the year during the February period, we have to have more events every quarter, and events that we can put on the national calendar culturally. They say that we're looking forward to an event which all of us can participate in, and the quality of the production is something that is worth our time and effort. No doubt, the number of sponsors you have seen signed on to this event is a testament of his hard work and his commitment. And if I am a sponsor, I want to associate my brand and my business with something wonderful and of a really good quality. And this event is one that is certainly of that type of quality and one that is worth emulating. So I want to encourage other dreamers within the creative space. Dream big. Set your targets and your goals beyond the imaginations of the ordinary. Do something that has never been done before and break the glass ceiling. Whether you're a woman, a young entrepreneur within the art form, or someone with years of experience but never had the drive to do something that is captivating and beyond the ordinary. This is your stage, and Steel Expressions is just an example of the many talents of all of our Vincentian creatives. Those involved in the lighting, the video, the song production, and those, of course, who will grace the stage. They're all Vincentian products. And no doubt, the ABC of Calypso, Alston Beckett Cyrus, who recently was honored by the University of the West Indies with a doctorate for his hard work and dedication and contribution to the art form. I'm excited to know that he's a part of the cast, and I think thousands of Vincentians are going to come out to see this performance of a lifetime. And it gives me the thrills because I feel like he is going to give you one of those ABC at the Apollo Theater kind of performance. And no doubt, all of us, we're looking forward to that, something that we have not seen for a while home here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we're certainly looking forward to this year's Steel Expressions. But I can just briefly conclude by saying, exporting our culture and our art form is something that many of our artists, they have long held that dream to put our cultural components on an international stage. The ABC of Calypso, he has done it. Kevin Little has done it. Skinny Fabulous, Problem Child, many of our artists. But to take a production cast from St. Vincent and the Grenadines into New York, into Havana, into Taiwan, and I'm picturing this even further into Asia, because I'm certain that at some point we'll have Steel Expressions, the Asian tour. It is something that all of St. Vincent should get behind, the business community, the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. We have to export our talents. We have to export the vision and the creative juices and ideas that come from the imagination and the minds of Rodney Smalls and all of the other creatives across St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And I want to say to Rodney that he has my fullest support in this venture, and he has the fullest support of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I want to wish his team the very best, and I'm looking forward to Steel Expressions 2022 and also the New York tour. We have to organize a ticket for Sion for the New York leg and the Havana leg of Steel Expressions 2023. Thank you very much for having me, Rodney, and God bless. And hopefully you enjoy a wonderful Steel Expressions.
Thank you very much, Minister James. And no doubt Rodney and his team can be confident of the continued support of your ministry and the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines in this worthwhile venture. You know, I'd actually written a joke in honor of Alston Beckett Cyrus, right? It's really some of our best material, so if nothing else, laugh, please, right? Thank you. So even if you don't laugh afterwards, I got it. See, now, Alston Beckett Cyrus awarded by this government as a cultural ambassador. So he has a diplomatic passport, and ambassadors carry the title Excellency, His Excellency. The University of the West Indies conferred on him an honorary doctorate written D.Lit. And so that confirms him now as the ABCD of Calypso. Okay, Mr. Okay, all right. Mrs. Kato laughed, and I'm happy. That's good. She got it. All right. We are now due to have some remarks from sponsors, and our first sponsor, NBC Radio, should be represented by Ms. Dion John, who is the general manager of the station, but she's not feeling well. She contacted us earlier, and she asked me to speak on behalf of the corporation because I am a member of the board of the directors of NBC. So at this point, I'm going to welcome Mr. Sion Marshall, member of the Board of Directors of NBC, to speak on behalf of those sponsors. Thank you very much. NBC Radio is a day one sponsor of Steel Expressions, meaning that the cooperation has been there from the inception of Steel Expressions. And it is something that we're proud of, as the generosity and the philanthropy of Steel Expression is in sync with our corporate responsibility. We align ourselves with that type of attitude, and so we are proud to be associated with Steel Expressions. We pledge our continued support, Rodney, to you and your team, to RS Production, as this program goes forward. You can always count on us, and we'll be willing to give whatever assistance we can. We are a driver of the culture of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You can tune into NBC Radio and you'd hear music that you haven't heard anywhere else for a very, very long time. I'm talking records that you hear in the crackling on and so forth. You hear a different type of programming geared to inform and educate. And we see this aspect of the culture, or young people, or young dreamers, what Rodney is doing on the pan, and the way he's including different aspects of the culture as a part of what we do at NBC Radio. And so we stand committed to supporting your program, and you can always call on us at NBC Radio for support. We thank you, we wish you well, and God's blessings on this year's program. Thank you very much, Mr. Marshall. We now invite another sponsor, Mr. Daniel Campbell, Director of Caribbean Engineering and Design Consultants Limited, to address you. Mr. Campbell.
All right, I'll improvise. Honorable Carlos James, Minister of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture. Honorable René Batiste, Speaker of the OECS House of Assembly. Miss Dion John couldn't be here, so Mr. Sion Marshall, representative of the National Broadcasting Corporation, senior public servants, immediate past president of the Rotary Club, Mr. Bantu Campbell. I see Queen Zahili in the audience. Other distinguished sponsors, representative of media organizations, specially invited guests, a good night. My name is Daniel Campbell. I'm the Director of Caribbean Engineering and Design Consultants Limited, and my job is very simple tonight, just to express why is it that I'm a first-time sponsor of Steel Expressions. Now, I could go on to tell you a lot of things about how great this event is, about how much hard work goes into it based on what I'm seeing. I could tell you the words that have been repeated before about how this is now basically part of our national tourism product. This is an excellent event. This is an event that will be taken to outside of the shores of St. Vincent, and it is an event that has built up actually a great following. But I want to share something more personal than that, in that I have known Rodney Small for almost all my life. As a person, I know his mom very dearly, Miss Gloria Small, when I used to give her a little bit of trouble when I was a younger boy. Me and Rodney grew up together, Kingston Preparatory School. We stayed friends when he was in Bishops and I was in the St. Vincent Grammar School. And part of the reason we stayed friends and close friends, apart from him visiting us and seeing each other in church and me trying to pretend that I'm an athlete on the track field and Rodney beating me hopelessly in the 100-meter and 200-meter dash. I used to see him frequently because Rodney had an unparalleled discipline and interest when it comes to pan. Rodney would be in the girls' high school pan yard every single day. I'm sure if they opened on Sunday, Rodney would be there on Sunday. I'm not sure if maybe they opened Sundays and you were there. But every single day, Rodney Small was dedicated to developing himself as a professional pan artist. And Rodney wasn't just on the pan. He was playing the tenor pan, the bass, the drums, any instrument you could give to Rodney, he was there doing it. And if you're noticing here tonight, he's even doing lovely song management. Rodney is there behind the speakers, he's here, he's a million places at one time. Right? So I just want to say that this is very personal for me. 11 years, well, when was the first date of Steel Expressions? 2012. Right, in 2012, I was in Cuba at that time. I spent 6 years in Cuba. I earned my first degree there in civil engineering. And one thing that Cuba taught me is that you don't have to wait till you have a whole bread to share and show solidarity. Even if you have a half a loaf, share from that half a loaf. If you have a quarter, share from the quarter. If you don't have none, you start to get in solidarity. All right? And then you see how you can work together to lift yourself up out of that state of starvation. So we don't want to see each other on the same level, but we want to help each other lift ourselves up from where we are. Right? And the company SEDCO exists not to, for example, I used to, in Cuba, advertising doesn't really exist, right? So I actually got indoctrinated into, I still have the belief that I'm not really so much of a promotion, wanting to promote myself type of person, but I would like to see what value does this initiative bring to the greater society? What good does it bring? So when I align myself, or when SEDCO aligns itself with an initiative, is because it has a deep community and cultural rooting behind it. So we exist as a company not just showing corporate social responsibility, but we exist as a social entity using any kind of profits we have for the upliftment of the community. And I think that's exactly what Steel Expressions is doing, and I'm happy to be a sponsor. That's it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Campbell. And can I say that, can we give Mr. Campbell a round of applause, please? And I'll tell you why I'm doing that. SEDCO isn't a big company by any standard, and they've not been around for 10 years, or 15 years, or 20 years by any standard. But if you were paying attention, SEDCO sponsored one of the delegates from Mr. SVG. And so as a young company, I already admire and respect the corporate responsibility of this young company. And so I want to congratulate him and continue to wish him all the best. Let me recognize Let me recognize another cultural ambassador who slipped in during the speeches, Darren Andrews, and I believe ACP Benjamin of the Royal St. Vincent and Grenadines Police Force is also here, so let me recognize him as well. I believe we have representatives from sponsors Digicel, Better Together, They used to be the bigger, better network, but now they're just better together. And also the East Caribbean Group of Companies. We would be having some testimonials now. And this lady I'm going to introduce is really one of my favorite persons. And I said, she has been that way since I was about 14, 15 years old. I met her, and as a young student in St. Martin's, intimidated by principals, because back then, I don't know what it is like now, but back then you feared your principals. You know, when they walked along the halls, there was silence. But this principal made me feel comfortable, and we developed a relationship, and I've always respected her and love her dearly. And I tried to compete for affection with her son, but that doesn't work. So maybe, yes, I have sinned and come short. Yeah. Let me welcome this wonderful, amazing, remarkable lady who's here with us, a former educator, a lady of culture, and just an all-round amazing person, Mrs. Joy Cato, please.
There's a light. However, the protocol having been established, I'll just go ahead. I think you'll allow me. And after that speech, that other speech that Sian just made, you really don't need me to say anything more. However, I have to tell you that some of what Sian said, I have to repeat, I have to echo. That point that he made, which indicated that myself, Sian, and his 18-year-old daughter were in the same fete, was wonderful. That is one of the things that Steel Expressions has meant to me. And I'll also tell you that I've missed one. I have been there from the outset. I missed one because that year I had to reorganize my travel. Usually, I would travel out of St. Vincent after Steel Expression. But that particular year, I couldn't. I had to go ahead. So I apologized profusely. I was very sorry that I had to miss it. But all the others have made up for it. And I am not a carnival person, and I'm not apologizing. I am not. I am Jamaican. That is what I know. They say they have carnival, but when I was in Jamaica, there was no such thing. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm not a carnival person. But I will also say to you, when I came to St. Vincent, well, the Eastern Caribbean, because we were in Barbados first, I met Steel Band. I had never heard of it. So I met Steel Band in Barbados, and I thought it was quite weird and quite strange. However, coming into St. Vincent and working at Bishop's College, Angie, yes, working at Bishop's College, and now I am being introduced to a steel orchestra. Listen to me, people. I love music. I'm not a musician, not by a long shot. I love music. I don't play any instruments. I don't really sing, but I can dance, and I love to dance. And I'm telling you, when Hero brought that pan side into the front of the school to play, well, I had to dance. It was wonderful. It was the most delightful music I had ever heard. And that year when Bishop's College nearly won Panorama, remember? We nearly went, okay. But I am telling you, I stood in Victoria Park and listened to that steel orchestra play, and my goose pimples washed me, and the tears ran down. It was the most beautiful music I had ever heard, and it still is. And Rodney has lived up to that. No, Yes, Rodney passed through Bishop's College, and I was happy to know that. Didn't know Rodney in school, but I knew his sister, and I knew his mother. Yes. And with Rodney's pan development, I kept saying, this young man, no, Miss Gloria Small, you don't even say nothing, just keep quiet, okay? I kept watching this young man develop his pan potential. And I kept saying, the boy needs to go to the Edna Manley School of the Performing Arts. And his mother said, no, no, he's not going to Jamaica, no. And we had this going on for years. Anyway, eventually he went, and this is what we have. And I think Sion mentioned that Steel Expression started as a university project. It was a part of his degree program, and it has grown wonderfully well. As far as I'm concerned, Steel Expression is the #1 thing on the calendar in St. Vincent. Not another thing. I am telling you, and I'm not apologizing, and I'm not ashamed to say it, because that is what I feel. There is no way that Rodney could have this show and I'm not present. And one of the things that I really, really appreciate, apart from Rodney's talent, which goes without being said, but one of the things that I really appreciate is how he has incorporated so many different aspects of the local culture in the show. I really appreciate that, and that is wonderful. And it speaks well for the development of culture in St. Vincent. Yes, there are times when other shows have been put on in St. Vincent, but I don't know about them because I don't go. If it is not Steel Expression, I'm not going. Seriously, I am not going. However, Cuba, yeah, yes, no, I don't want to go to New York. But Cuba, definitely. So all I'm saying, all of that, those words that I have said, is just to say the biggest congratulations to Rodney Small. And, I didn't mention RS, no, the school, Rodney, the RS Academy. That is also another wonderful aspect. It is wonderful. We need that sort of development in St. Vincent. And we need to be able to carry it on. We need to see it develop and grow, which is one of the other reasons that Steel Expressions is such a good move, because it involves old people like me. It involves people not so old like Sion. It involves younger people like Sion's daughter. So all I'm saying is that kind of exposure augurs very well for the talent development in St. Vincent. You too, Anita. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Cato. I really appreciate that. And Rodney, I know you've fought many obstacles to be where you are, and all the more reason you should be proud of what you've accomplished. And I try and say this in as subtle a manner as possible, that you ignore those with their maladjusted mental faculties. Right. Thank you very much, Ms. Cato. She got that. I'm glad you're sitting in front. I'm really glad. All right. We'd have another testimonial, and this time we're going to have the taller brother of Daniel Bantu come and address us, please.
Permit me to adopt the protocol established by my younger brother Daniel, and also permit me to borrow the words from my late father, Panelag Campbell QC. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good evening. I would love to say that I was there with Rodney from day one, but that was not the case. My first Steel Expression experience was in 2019, and I must be brutally honest. Prior to 2019, I was not a fan of the steel pan. I really detested the high-pitch instrument. 2 weeks before Steel Expressions 2019, I purchased a camera and a lens. So I said, let me go to the show just to get some photography practice. So my first experience was really photography practice. Halfway during the show, the camera was on my shoulder, and I was singing and dancing. And I really want to thank Rodney for a spectacular performance in 2019. I saw Fireman, there was Rodney and Saeed, there was Samuel Toka on violins, and I remember the fifth to last performance. I didn't have a program. The fifth to last performance, I didn't have a program, so I said this had to be the grand finale. So after that performance, I was clapping, and then I saw another grand finale. I was clapping, I said, this is a really good show. Then I saw another grand finale, I was like, whoa. And when I was convinced the show was done, I saw a lift to my side, and there's Rodney up on the lift, and there was fireworks. I'm very happy to see that I experienced Hollywood in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. However, after the show, I was worried. I would say there is no way possible Rodney can lift the bar from 2019. Rodney proved me wrong. I went to Victoria Park. There was a musician on the ground floor and one on the first floor. So Mr. Small rose the bar. I was like, okay, there's no way possible he can raise the bar again. I don't know if anyone here went last year, but we were over there on the lawn, taking in a Vincentian sunset, being serenaded by Mr. Rodney Small and friends, and I was at the front of the stage. Remember, 2 years ago, I was a photographer. This time, there was no camera. It was just me alone. I was at the front of the stage by Rodney's shoe, like one of those. Anyway, I won't say. I was on the stage at Rodney's shoe, closing my eyes, singing like Stevie Wonder. I was really amazed with the show last year. I saw Rodney Saturday, and I told Rodney, I'm the biggest Steel Expressions fan. And if somebody could tell me 5 years ago that I would come to become the biggest fan of a steel pan show, I would doubt them thoroughly. But thank you for converting me into being a fan of pan. And for those out there who are not necessarily impressed by the steel pan, I would encourage you to come out to the kingdom. I mean, I doubt it, but Rodney proved me wrong. Come out to the kingdom, and I can assure you, you will get your money's worth. I mean, all over the years, I've got more than $700 worth of value for a $70 ticket. And I honestly think the price should be higher, but in these economic times, I don't expect everyone to agree. And I would like to make a pledge. One day when I get my company and my brand, I would love to be a platinum sponsor for Steel Expression. It is a brand that I would love to associate with my future brand and companies. And Rodney, continue to lift the bar. I don't know how it's possible to lift it again, but wait, I just have one other thing. As a result of Steel Expressions, I look forward to Steel Expressions more than Christmas, because every year Rodney gives me a big surprise. So, Rodney, I'm looking forward to my surprise at the next show. I know you won't disappoint me, and congratulations again, my brother.
Thank you very much, Bantu. But you forgot to mention, this is program number 11 in the nation-building public series of Steel Expressions. Hearing of Rodney's journey from Bishop College on to Edna Manley makes me preempt whatever Rodney may have planned and acknowledge the contribution of the former Minister of Culture, Mama Culture, the current Speaker of the OEC Assembly in the audience, for as Rodney continues to speak of your influence on him in going to college and pursuing what he did and being where he is now. And of course, I also remember that you took a big steel pan to, is England you went to, you took them? Starlift? So you have exported the culture, you've done all of that, and we must recognize Cuba. We must recognize your efforts in culture and exporting the culture of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Thank you so much, Mama Culture. The Arabesque Dance Company would now give us a promotional endorsement, and they're Broadway bound.
Good night, everyone. I am Juanita Phillip, Artistic Director for the Arabesque Dance Company. Please allow me to adopt the protocol. Production or show business is about the element of surprise, and that is what the Arabesque Dance Company plans to give our patrons come December 26th and 27th at the Community College, 7 p.m. nightly. The rehearsals for this production began in 2019, but then came to an immediate halt given the circumstances of the volcanic eruption, and of course we had COVID-19. With our dancers not being able to do face-to-face training, we turned to technology, where our dancers became engaged in various activities, dance activities, which they had to post on or in our WhatsApp chats so that we can give each other reviews and just for some form of entertainment. The dancers, however, wanted more and requested that we go back to our face-to-face training. This to me was necessary, as I know how enthused they are when they are on the dance floor. We started our training, of course, with the necessary COVID protocols in place, and then resumed our rehearsals for Broadway Bound. The ADC is known for our theatrical style, or better choice of words, our interpretive style of performances, and Broadway Bound is within that range, but with additional elements. The dancers have been going through a series of rehearsals, not only in choreography, but drama sessions, as well as vocal training with AutoSCN. Patrons on the nights of Broadway Bound will witness inserts from popular movies and musicals such as Lion King, Annie, Mamma Mia, Chicago, and Grease, backed by band Resonance, and back vocals Jabez Matthews, Ajaya Jackson, Dania Nichols, led also by AutoSCN. Our dancers from ages 2 to adults are ready to entertain our supporters, new patrons, and visitors alike on December 26th and 27th at Broadway Bound at the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Community College, again at 7 p.m. nightly. Admission adults $60, children 12 and under will pay at the door. Ticket outlets, the VJ's Restaurant Kingstown and the Melting Pot at the cruise ship terminal. Special thanks to our sponsors, Kingston Cooperative Credit Union and the Couriers Distribution Limited. Let me take this opportunity to invite you there on the nights again on the 26th and the 27th. And again, Rodney, who's my little brother. Like you, I had my moments with Rodney, and I'm talking about the crying baby moments. The crying, not hush baby, but the crying moments where we had his sister and I had to pick him up at school with all the little snot running on his nose because he wants to play and all of that. So I had those moments with Rodney. Right? And let me thank you for this unselfish opportunity to promote Arabesque Dance Company's function. We do the same. I mean, I promote Steel Expressions more than I even promote Broadway Bound. And it's something we would continue to do for each other. Again, thank you and good luck.
Thank you very much, Juanita. And we still experience the crying moments with Rodney. He cries at every presentation. Tonight was an exception. I'm not sure what happened tonight, but he didn't get emotional. So he's growing up. No more crying and so forth. All right. Thank you very much. We are going to have an artist pledge, and this pledge is going to be led by Mr. Brian Maloney. So let's welcome Brian as he leads the artist pledge.
Good night, everyone. Please permit me to adopt the protocol as being established. As artists, and musicians, we acknowledge that we are role models. We understand that this show is an extension of artists, local and from the wider world, offering musical and creative experiences to the patrons, supporters, and well-wishers. We will respect all involved, support teams, stage crew personnel, musicians, and all other artists present with the knowledge of giving back to the community. We will work with respect and dignity and lend support, as well as encourage others and uplift the experience of the Steel Expressions family. We hereby accept our responsibility to perform with a standard that comes with years of experience and skills towards a wonderful and successful Steel Expressions 2022. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian. And we're coming to the end of this launch. To thank all those who participated and to thank you who are both here with us and those who are listening us via social media or whatever medium. I'll now invite Mrs. Jean Johnny Finley to raise the vote of thanks.
Good evening, all. Please permit me, like everybody before, to adopt the protocol. First of all, always have to thank the Almighty God for bringing us through our many moments in our daily lives. He is a big part of our Steel Expressions, feelings, devotions, our moments. We do not start a meeting without thanking God for bringing us and guiding us. And He has brought us through many, many moments. For the persons who participated in this evening's lunch, Ward Carter for leading us in the word of prayer, starting us on that good footing. Our Master of Ceremonies, Sion Marshall, who also doubled as the representative from the National Broadcasting Corporation. Thank you most kindly. Honorable Carlos James, special thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule, gracing us with your presence and offering a word of encouragement, and also for the support that we get from you and your ministry and your pledge for future productions and activities for Steel Expressions. Daniel Campbell, a first-time sponsor. And Daniel was chosen. We were looking and saying, and he said, no, Daniel, from the time we sent our emails out, I don't think he read the proposal. Because in no time at all he was responding and saying how much he was sponsoring, and he came in big. As I say, he really came in big, and we really, really appreciate, as a first-time sponsor, and we know you just came out from Miss SG, we really appreciate you being a first-time sponsor. Thank you also for your words, your kind words, to Ronnie and the production team. Joy Cato, past principal, a friend of Steel Expression, former principal, my humblest apologies, and a friend of Steel Expressions for many, many years. You know, Rodney always said there's some people he has to make sure that they're invited. And he makes sure, and yes, so we know you're there with us. Bantu told you of his experience at Steel Expression. Bantu, should I tell them about you at Mikasa? My most memorable moment of Bantu. I saw a pair of slippers. And I was wondering whose shoes. And then I looked to see who out there up front. He's a front stage performer. A round of applause for our front stage performer. So he had to be another person who had to endorse us and present a testimonial for Steel Expressions. Juanita has been around. It's a family, a cultural family. Besides her and Rodney, we have this cultural family. We support RS Productions, Steel Expressions. We support any quality product that, even if you're starting, we try to make sure that you can help to bring a quality product. And we are happy to have Juanita present her event to you this evening. Broadway Bound, we're coming. I'm an Arabesque mom, but she would never put me on to dance, okay? Could go Broadway. Right. Brian, thank you for your artist pledge. Much appreciated. Brian has always been there for, well, how many years? A lot of years singing background vocals. He's had his moments. This year, he's out front doing his own. Yes, we'll hear the voice of Brian, yeah. The sponsors here with us tonight. The media is here with us tonight. Angie Jackson from the Prime Minister's office, the Secretary, Angie. I hear Angie's name very often, very, very often, and we're going to Angie, and I check Angie, and Angie, and Angie. We really appreciate the support you offer to Steel Expressions with Rodney and the production team. Our sponsors, not necessarily in order of their donations or how long they've been with us. The National Lotteries Authority, Right Stuff, SVG Tourism Authority, Carnival Development Corporation, National Broadcasting Corporation, National Properties Limited, Caribbean Engineering and Design Consultants Limited, SEDCO, Invest SVG, Digicel, Guardsman, Couriers Distribution Limited with their brands Johnny Walker, Tequila Rose and Heineken, Sunset Shores, Mariners Hotel, French Veranda, Gate 3 for hosting us this evening and coming on board as a sponsor, the Searchlight Newspaper, East Caribbean Group of Companies with their brands Village Ram, Island Sips, Water, and Easy Bake Flour. Carrer's Pharmacy, Food Express, and Cafe Central, the Container Corporation, Lions Club. Thank you all. Do enjoy the rest of the evening. Pablo, which airline brought you to make sure you got here to be with us tonight? I have to, yeah, we were really, Pablo was out and he came this evening and he called to say, where we read. So he had many stops. Minister Tourism, please, let's fix this. He had his Pablo messages, he said, 5 stops are coming. And Pablo, we're really, really happy to, 5 stops, yes. We really, from Jamaica. Mm-hmm. We're really happy to have you. So our family, yes, yeah, when we saw Pablo, we got excited. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thanks all. Let's enjoy. After we have a little mix and mingle, the media houses, please feel free. Rodney is here for any other questions, and we have some other information to give you should you need any more. Good evening, all. Good night.